Hey, I hope you don't mind the chef's hat today. That's what I found, okay? Hey, I fear that our discussion last week has led us away from the main point of the life hack directive number 2. So let's go back to some questions. Why does it make any difference if we create a statue or painting of God? Remember, that was our questions from last week. If God is in all of us and we are created in His image, we all know what God looks like, right? He looks like us, okay? That is a poetic thought, but there are some flaws in the hypothesis that may be the reason God added life directive number 2. Think about this. When we make God out to be fathomable from our perspective, we fathom that He would enslave all those who are different from us, or dehumanize them, or insult them, or kill them. Each culture carves or paints a creator in their own color and race. This is the first step to disenfranchising others through the form of deistic racism, okay? Making our personally shaped God and our own fashion religion is the first step to legitimatizing and imperializing our own culture. This gives us reasons to consider other cultures worthy of annihilation, or at least require them to assimilate into ours. When we repetitiously show our children the white God, or the black God, or the brown God, or the yellow God, we program them to believe that those who are not our color are godless. It's easy to see why cultures in recent centuries saw other races as without a soul. You can certainly enslave anything that's not in the image and color of our God. The Sistine Chapel God made it easier for Cristobal Colon, aka Christopher Columbus, to land in the Caribbean and give the thin young brown Arawak island girls as sex slaves to the sailors without remorse. Apparently the off-white round-headed God is okay with raping young dark browns. But I digress. That ideology can be the result of giving the Creator a man-made image. My Protestant pastor friend would add that making God out to be attributed as a male would create the same scenario. If God is a penis-toting male, then those without the God feature are not really in His image and thus available for abuse. Think about this. And this has taken place for hundreds of years. Is he crazy to have articulated that? Maybe at his church, but he did it to me. He said, seriously, if the Godhead of Genesis created humans in their own image, then to make God solely male is to incorrectly describe God. Is he right or is he wrong? Or is that a little farther than you are ready to hypothesize this week? He is the same person who will be quick to point out the usage of the female vernacular used in the description of the Holy Spirit throughout the entire Tanakh, okay? In case you think commandment number 2 is too hard on the Catholics and Orthodox Church because they use the icons, remember that the Protestant Church too, who stood up against the icon worship of the Catholics, often had some beautiful stained glass window icons of their own in their own churches. And Protestant historical records on racial and gender rights fared no better. You know that. Our recent history tells us that. Maybe we have a few statues to tear down in the religious world too. Bottom line, we can't marbleize God, as it would be impossible for us to create a statue or a picture that did not represent God in favor of our own viewpoint, race, sex, religion, denomination, or class. I remind you of N.T. Wright's great words. He said, "We cannot stand outside of our worldview any more than we can see without our eyes. Our own worldview is the lens through which the world is seen, the blueprint for how one should live it." Our favorite news network gave us all a bird's eye view of those protesting statues that glorified the Civil War generals. You remember them. We saw them on TV. Many were torn down or broken or painted over. These brass and concrete monuments represented a pro-slavery mentality, and they represented abuse at the hands of these celebrated historical icons. Additionally, for many people who were not ravaged by slavery, those statues and memorials represented a time in our history that we want nothing to do with. We don't want to be associated with that. Some of us, not all, but some, are embarrassed that our country would have ever fought to disallow freedom for all people. Some abhor the treatment of other cultures. Some despair at the disingenuous reparations of our First Nations inhabitants. The list could go on and on. I remember a statue of Robert E. Lee sitting proudly on his horse, lamenting his loss to the Union. The statue builders based it on their feelings, not mine, and maybe not even Lee's. Think about it. Lee had been trained at the U.S. Military Academy at West Point, and he swore an oath to the very Union he deserted to lead the fight for Southern slavery rights. The Confederate South lost, but genuine freedom for slaves didn't come soon enough. We are now dealing with the entanglement of two competing cultures living together in a singular chunk of land. For the record, the class system, slavery, and abuse is still alive and well in both communism, socialism, and democracy. Stop. I'm not going to get political. I'm going to say that the Creator's second life hack, law, rule of no God images, is there to protect you and future generations from creating a God in their own image. It protects you. When you think of it like that, you see the gracious wisdom in the wording. You see this as a protection for future generations from racism and cultural oppression. When Moses came down from the mountain, holding the Creator's top 10 list, his greatest directives, he found the people dancing around a God they had created, a God that looked like a cow, that created a creature rather than worshiping the Creator. The New Testament book of Romans, chapter 5, gives a unique look at this. It reads, "They exchanged the truth of God for a lie and worshiped and served created things rather than the Creator." Please note, and this is interesting, our Islamic friends have continued to refuse to make pictures or statues of God in accordance to their religion. Unlike the Judeo-Christian side, apparently their people were able to learn the sacred stories without the benefit of pictures. Who knew it could have been done? They don't seem any less devout for their lack of icons. So maybe we were wrong way back then. Now look, here's the good news. If the Creator was killing people for attaching images, both Protestants and Catholics and Orthodox and many other religions would all be dead. The Creator is not looking for reasons to punish. The Creator is looking to bring us the best life possible, free from slavery, free from man-made devices and creeds, free from injustice, free from racial divides, and free from abuses done in His name. In fact, all abuses. Let me repeat it. The Creator is not looking for reasons to punish. The Creator is looking to bring us the best life possible, free from slavery, free from man-made devices and creeds, free from injustice, free from racial divides, free from all abuses. Because of that, we can go out today and help restore all the captives. We can involve ourselves in restorative programs and assistance groups and food banks. Why? Because our religion is not limited to a list of beliefs. Rather, it is demonstrated by a life of example. Let us absolve ourselves of our preconceived ideas of God, though hard that is. Let God be God. And where there is doubt and disillusionment, let me bring life. Where there is darkness and despair, let me bring life. You know where I'm going. Where there is ignorance and misunderstanding, let me bring life. Where there is hatred and heartache, let's bring life. Where there is unfairness and injustice, let me bring life. Life is the mission. Life is my mission. Next time we look at the most misunderstood life hack of all. Number 3, okay? Invite a friend. You'll want to be there. And as always, peace.